Love and Hip Hop episode 5 review. So the episode begins with us being introduced to Lil Zane. His name sounds familiar, but I really don't know who he is. I guess he's on this show trying to have some type of comeback with his music though. So Jock and Kirk come to see him at the video shoot, and of course that's when we start to get a little bit more of what his storyline is going to be. He says that him and his wife are married but separated, but they live together. And basically he was filming a music video, and I guess he was saying his wife was upstairs while he had all these video girls downstairs, like in the pool area. So Kirk is like, I know Zane from the music industry, and I'm just confused on when did he get married. So they like, so do you see other girls? And he like, I got friends. This sound like a mess. And then he gonna say him and his wife been together for 11 years and married for 5. It don't sound like it according to what Kirk just said. It sound like you've been getting around for the last 10 years that he knew you. The producers asked him why he don't got on a wedding ring. He talking about he be losing the child. Zane also says that he has 2 moms of his children. They don't get along, obviously because there was overlap in the relationships and he was sleeping with them at the same time. I don't know if one of those baby mothers is Ashley or if she's like a third person to this whole equation, but Ashley just came downstairs. She's a very pretty, well-spoken girl, which reminds me a lot of Kendra being with Jock, and I just don't understand why Kendra is with Jock. She's a lawyer, she's educated, she could do much better than Jock, especially if he's going to be cheating on her, and I get the same vibes from Ashley. And the wife doesn't seem to be under the impression that her and Zane are separated. And she's like, oh, I hope that him being around some married men will help him be on the straight and narrow. Do you know who Jock and Kirk are? Married or not? They ain't shit. But from her short conversations with Jock and Kirk, she quickly learned that they're not it, especially Jock. Simply because of how he felt about the whole Amy and Bambi situation, feeling like Bambi wasn't wrong, and people fall in love with who they fall in love with, like as if Bambi didn't need to tell Amy what she was doing if that's her friend. So Santana and Chef D are on their way to Long Beach so Santana could headline for Pride. He's a little nervous about this performance because it's 45 minutes long, and he's like, I haven't been working out, I think I'm gonna be out of breath and stuff like that. Chef D is telling him don't worry about it, he looks good, and he's gonna be right on the side of the stage with a towel to wipe his sweat. And D is just like, so when you leave the show, what are you going to do? You want to go to Atlanta and be ignorant, or you want to go lay at home and chill and be intimate? And Santana is like, Chef D still caught up on the fact that I cheated on him. Me and him live in totally different states. So it basically sounds like Santana don't want to commit, period. But he definitely not going to commit to somebody that's in a different state from him. Spice house got broken into. They showing the house all ransacked and stuff. But then she going to say, my friend Kiki was in the house and she slept through the whole thing. She slept through all that shit getting knocked over in the house. So Rashida and Shekinah come over, so Spice is going to explain more to them what happened. She said that the people came in, they had a pow, and the footprints was like on the floor in her house, and they went straight to her bedroom. Now Spice is trying to connect this back to the whole thing that happened with her and Carly when she was telling Carly, I don't want you renting out the house next to mine. I don't want people knowing where I live, this, that, and the third. So she's trying to say like that got something to do with it possibly. And Rashida said this has gone on a lot in Atlanta recently. Her, Spice, and Ciara all was victims of break-ins. So child, if you move to Atlanta and you got money, don't let nobody know where you live. So we saw Santana go on stage. He did his big one. He actually was a good performer. He got down in the crowd, interacted with everybody. They was getting their life. And we also saw him taking some pictures with some fans after the show. So Erica Dixon and Rashida meet up. And of course, Erica is telling her about how Mama D invited Jasmine to this event. And Jasmine told Mama D that Kirk is still offering her more money and more child support if he could get some PUSSY out of the deal. So Rashida like, oh, we gonna get to the bottom of it. Kirk don't got no more chances. So it better not be true. I'm really not convinced that you will leave, even if it was true. So Kendra basically has somebody named Q who could help Spice with house hunting because she doesn't really feel comfortable staying in this house now that it got broken into. So they're meeting up to talk. So Q leaves them to have a look around and they start to talk about Kendra. And she's like, I'm thinking about actually having a kid now, but there's a lot to think about. This would be Jock's 10th child. And basically also she wants to freeze her eggs because she's not ready to have kids right now. But I guess she doesn't want to miss the opportunity. They also showed us some clips from 2020 where Kendra was telling Jock that she wanted him to get a vasectomy and that she wasn't having no kids, period. But obviously now she's thinking about changing her mind. And Spice is like, I don't really think freezing your eggs is the best way to go because how late do you want to wait? I think Kendra's in her 40s or her late 30s, but I think she's in her 40s. And she also seems to second guess basically if Jock will really be faithful. And she's like, everything we went through in the past. And what if something happens and then I end up having to raise a child by myself that I didn't have to? And Spice is like, well, do you trust Jock? She doesn't really answer the question in her confessional. She's just like, 2 things could be true at once. I could be not 100% sure of what the future holds with Jock, but I could also love him and potentially want to give him a child and want to freeze the eggs. And she basically said that every time she brings up the whole freezing her eggs conversation to Jock, he gets upset. And Kendra's like, he should just be jumping for joy that I'm even open to exploring the option of having kids now. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. So she said he's going to have a photo shoot where he's getting all his kids together. So she thinks they'll both be in a good space and vibe at that time, and she'll try to bring it up then. So Spice was like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So we see Zane, Ashley, and his 2 kids from his baby mom, Michelle. So his kids with Michelle are visiting them for the summer. So Ashley is like, it looked like you, Kirk, and Jock was being sneaky at the video shoot. And after the shoot, you immediately left. I didn't hear from you for 12 hours. What was going on? He's like, I went to get the kids, blah, blah, blah. And he was talking about he just wanted to clear his mind. So he took some space and took some time off. So she's like, so did you see Michelle? Like, did you meet up with Michelle? And he's like, I met up with her in a public place. Like, basically saying, I guess he ain't go to her house, the baby mom. And basically Ashley was like, he's cheated on me with Michelle in the past. Okay, so also Michelle has a 7-year-old who they thought was Zane's, and now he's saying he's 99% sure that the kid isn't his. So I guess they need to get a test to really make sure. But basically, Michelle gave the kid Zane's last name. So she's like, are y'all gonna figure out what's going on with Matthew? Changing his last name. Is he your son? So Rashida confronts Kirk about Jasmine. So Rashida, like, he's stuttering, bringing up that she be coming to the door naked. Why he never told me that before? And she, like, it sounded like a lot of excuses. So Kirk denies it, says he's gonna talk to Jasmine and that she's just miserable because she don't have a man. So Kirk meets up with Jasmine and he's like, so how you know Mama D? And she's like, that's none of your business. And he's like, yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out what kind of relationship y'all can have. Do you know what she's known for with young women? She's a madam. So Jasmine was like, all you need to worry about is being a father. He was like, I've been a father. And she's like, what, 20 days out of the year? And he was like, I be a father. I'm a father. And she was like, oh, so what's Cannon's teacher name? He gonna say, I wouldn't know. She said, what's Cannon's school name? He gonna say, oh, you want me to pull it up? Like, you want me to pull it out on my phone? You should know it. Gonna say it starts with a W. She said, what grade is Cannon in? He gonna say, really? She said, yeah, really. He said, third. She said, stupid, no. So she said, how old is he? He gonna say, so you think I don't know how old Cannon is? She said, why you gotta answer a question with a question? Like, you trying to stall? She said she lived 15 minutes away from Kirk, and Kirk see Cannon probably once every 3 months. So he was like, so why did you tell Mama D that? And she was like, so you never offered me no money if we was effing? And he was like, wow. And she was like, yeah, wow. Like, you want to play? And he was like, no, I don't want to play. But so he finally denies it. Jasmine says he's lying. He's like, I've been through too much with my wife. And for us to get to this point, you would be stupid to F it up. Because it's like, yeah, Rashida should have been left you. So if you really want her and you still got her, at this point, you better hold on. You better not be doing shit. Unless it's what Scrappy said last season and you really think she's that weak that she would never leave you. Because she's basically been groomed. She's been with Kirk since she was like 15, 16 years old. Then they start talking about how she got pregnant in the first place. And she's saying that Kirk was going in raw. He trying to say that's not the case. She said they never had safe. So Kirk walks away and that conversation gets nowhere between them. So we're at Jock's family photo shoot and he's basically like, I hope this photo shoot will help Kendra see that we have enough kids. I don't want to be changing diapers at 50. So I guess he was willing to do it 5 years ago because he was a little younger. But now he's like, it's no. But I'm sure Kendra doesn't feel that way because none of these are her kids. So they talk outside and Jock is like, first of all, I don't want to do no artificial insemination. Who's paying for all of that? And who's waiting that long? If you want to have a baby, let's just have the baby right now. And based on what Kendra says, she's around 35. So she's saying, I just want to freeze them now because at 40, I don't want to take the 40-year-old eggs and try to have a kid. Like, I want to have the 35-year-old eggs. Kendra feel like Jock don't want to have a baby with her. And he feel like, girl, you want to freeze these eggs because you think we might not make it. So she basically tells him, I don't have to ask your permission. I'm freezing the eggs regardless. They not seeing eye to eye and they go real back and forth like it gets bad. And basically told him, if I do decide down the line that I want to have the kids and you don't want to have them, then let me go and let me be with somebody who deserves me. Because if you're not ready to step up to be a husband, like, it is what it is. So I'll see y'all next week for episode 6. Okay, bye guys.